Okay, so I'm sorry that the video got cut off. Anyway, some other considerations that you are going to consider, you may want to take into account or consider. Sorry about the nonsense. When dealing with situations like blackouts and stuff like that, it's just something that it happens. So before I continue, I wanted to remind you that down below is my email in case that you want to help me out by sending an Amazon gift card. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that one. So anyway, so number 2, about blackouts and freezers and fridges and stuff like that. So you are preparing for a blackout and you are considering a lot of things. So you're probably considering, flashlights and candles and stuff like that, and batteries, and, your buck, what I call buck, which is like a blackout kit. Chargers. You might want to go to someplace else that have electricity. It's not going to be a big deal, okay? Yes, it's not. Except for a few things. Number 1, if the blackout lasts more than 12 hours, the fridge in your refrigerator, if it makes a little bit of frost, that frost is going to melt. So when that frost melts, is going to become water that is going to be out of your fridge, meaning that your fridge is going to pee. That's what we do here. We say, yeah, the fridge just pee. Yeah. So if your fridge is peeing and there is problems with electricity, guess what happens when you are, walking in your house in the middle of the night, barefoot, and that thing, the electricity suddenly comes back in, and then you're touching the fridge, or you're touching the water from the fridge, and that thing is just on. What do you think is going to happen? Yeah, a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of the time, that thing is going to electrocute you, especially if it has an electrical problem that you never knew before, because, when things are good, you never notice that there is a problem. So you want to really do 3 things. Number 1, you want to take like a cloth to put it near the fridge so that when it pees, the water is not going to go, all over the place. Number 2, you really want to check the fridge so that it has what we call landline. I do not know how to describe this in English. I use we call it here toque tierra, meaning land touch, because if the fridge has a cable that is touching ground, then it's not going to electrocute you, even if you have the water there or whatever. By the way, this will happen more often to kids than to adults. So, and by the way, this is, crazy and bad, because accidents with electricity are going to be a huge problems if the problems with the blackouts are, often. Meaning, if you have the blackout today, and it was in your city, and it was just 6 hours or 12 hours, you're not going to be in trouble, okay? It's not like the end of the world. But let's say that, you have 12 hours of electricity, and then there are sparks, and then the electricity comes back in, and then it comes back off, and then it comes back in, and then it comes back off, and then it comes back in, and then you have no idea what the hell. Because it's like, okay, today you have electricity, but you have no idea if you're going to have electricity tomorrow. So when that happens, a lot of bad people are going to be like, okay, where is the blackout now? Okay, we can get to that neighborhood, we can do bad things at that time, and then come back. And, the bad guys are going to make like notice that the place is no longer stable. And they are going to hit certain things, and it's going to be bad. But, like I said, after a while. It's not like 1 hour after the blackout, everybody is going to die. Oh, hell no. What the hell? I mean, it's just a blackout, The other problem that you're going to consider about the fridge is the food. That's why, you want to know a few things about how the hell does the fridge work. You need to know the instructions of that thing so that you can put the food where it belongs. Otherwise, you're wasting money and time. In regular, when there is electricity. But if there is no electricity, you need to know how long will the fridge will last cold without you opening. And if you open it because, it's vertical or whatever, then you are kind of like in a hurry to know, which food you can throw away, which foods you can reuse or whatever. And that's why you really want to get horizontal freezers. And you want to get them with frost. I know, it's a pain, whatever, but you want to get frost because frost will maintain cold even without you having power. So basically, no power and you have no frost means food is getting warmer by the second, not the minute, the second, especially if you open the fridge or if you open the freezer. So, but if it has frost, that ice is not going to melt, in a second. It's not happening. How the hell do you destroy, ice in 1 second? You don't. So that ice is going to help protect the cold. And that is why, you want to have things with frost. Now, the problem with the frost is that if it gets too warm, it's going to melt. If you have it vertical, that water has to go somewhere and it's going to go into the floor. And that water is also going to create accidents because every time that you get water in the floor, of course, it's going to get slippery, especially with old people. Oh crap, I can walk through that thing, no problem, but my mom, oh hell, she will be like, oh crap, what the hell, So old people, at that point, it's not the problem about being electrocuted, it's the problem about slippery. Kids might handle it. You and me, maybe. But, oh hell, an elderly person, especially over 70, yeah, that water is going to probably mean, a hip that needs to be replaced or something. So, no, hell, no. That's why you really, really, really need to get like lots of cloth around the freezers that are vertical and around the fridges that are vertical. So even if you don't have that problem, if you have a power outage that lasts more than 10 hours while you're sleeping, you went to bed at 8 p.m. and the power outage started at 8:30 and then you wake up at, 7 a.m., oh, come on, if the power outage started at 8:30 at night and you're waking up at 7, it's nearly 11 hours of no power. So, hell no. You need to have that thing done. So, like I said, problems. And you also want to consider other things that are related to the blackout. And that is that you really, really, really want to go to where there is a group. Meaning, you are going to have to take watch. On day one, oh, hell no, no problem. Depending upon where you are, okay? Because I can tell you, if you were in a good neighborhood, it's not going to be a problem. People are just going to go to your door, like, do you know when the power is back in or whatever, and that's it, no big deal. But if it is a national problem or whatever, then still it's going to be like, people will be like, yeah, I'm just waiting for things to go back to normal. Most people are going to be like that. However, on day two, you are going to start, having problems. And at that point, you really want to have someone that is, you sleep, I take watch. I sleep, you take watch. So you really want to have like a situation like that. And if you're alone with kids or whatever, then you really want to have like a friend, or maybe you can go to your friend's house and then they can, change. So today we watch this house, tomorrow we watch the other house. I don't know, because, each person will make their own plans, but you need to make a plan for day 2. Day 1, no problem. Day 2, oh hell, you need to consider that one, Especially because, in the middle of the night, you need, you probably want to have something that protects you from mosquito. I know, if you live in Canada, you probably don't have that problem, but, especially during the winter or whatever, but still, you probably will have problems with mosquitoes. So, for a blackout, most people are like, yeah, flashlights and all of that. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, have you ever tried to sleep, several days with no power? yeah, try doing that, without a fan, and try doing that, with a lot of mosquitoes going around. Oh, hell no. Especially if you're a woman, especially if you have kids, and especially if you have elderly people in your group, which, by the way, I do the three of them. So it's insane. You really need to have like a protection for the mosquitoes, nets, bug spray, whatever. And you really want to have, something that will make you cool, like a fan or whatever you can get. Or it might be the opposite. It might be that it's too hot and you want the fan, but it can be too cold and you want something that will make you warmer, like a lot of blankets and stuff. But that's just not the only issue. The other issue is if you do not have air conditioner on, then you probably want to open the windows, because otherwise how the hell are you going to get air into the room, right? Especially during the night. So you need to know that you want to secure the windows, and no, hell no. No, 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 no. I don't care if you live in the safest place in the planet. I don't care if you live in Japan. You need to close it. You need to lock the freaking windows. You need to close them somehow. Meaning you need to let air in, but you need to close them. Meaning you put like a large curtain with half of the thing with a furniture or whatever, because guys that are after women, they don't care. And they will get away with it if it is the middle of the night and you can't do anything, especially if you leave the windows open. And so hell no. You need to figure out how the hell to protect the windows and leave them open so that you can get air, but without having someone going through that window to get to you. Okay? So those things are important to consider before you even, bother getting flashlights or whatever. Because with the flashlight and all, you're going if the fridge is peeing, that water is going to create a lot of problems, like I said, and you also have a lot of situations that you need to consider. Okay. So I'm going to make another video as to other things that you also want to consider. But anyway, so thank you very much. I really appreciate that one. So I hope to see you soon.